Good morning, Caris. I have to say, Summer and Caris, the work that I get sent to me from you guys on the portfolio is amazing. Really, really lovely. Good morning, Chloe D. Good morning, Maisie. Right, it is coming to that time when we need to get started. So I just want to show you something first, as I always do. I'm going to go to the Lee Forest Academy website. There we go. Into our virtual school, Year 5. Good morning, John Paul. Good morning, Sky. Oh, Sky, you know what that means today? Oh, sorry, personal message there between Sky and I. Right, going to the virtual school, going into Year 5. I thought I had done that, my apologies. And then you've still got the comment here button, which allows you to submit your comments to both Miss Purcell and I during your English and math live lessons. So again, you pop in your name and you pop in your comment. Probably spelled correctly. And then you click submit, and that will come straight through to us. And if you want to do another response, you just click there and the form will come back up. But another thing I wanted to show you is this virtual school isn't just a pretty picture, it's got live links. So where you see here the star, if you click on that, it will redirect you to Doodle, which is now loading up. If I go back to that virtual school page, here you see where it's got the link to the live lessons. Here's the link to the AET live lessons, spelling frames there, accelerated reads there, the guitarist timetable rock stars. This little emoji here is BBC Bite Size. Here's Dojo. And you've got some Spartacus ones. The world is really cool. You can go to Google World. Google Earth, there you go, look. Super cool. So actually explore with that when you get the chance after your live lessons, because they're pretty cool. And there's one other thing I want to show you before we get started when it loads. There's a few apps that might load a bit quicker. Here it comes. Is in this virtual school bit, it's got the where is it? Let me see. It's got the thank you wall, and I don't get the opportunity, but I know Miss Purcell and I have been looking at this. And there's been some lovely messages that have been sent in from both classes in Year 5 to say thank you to Miss Purcell and I. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you for the lovely messages that you're sending in to the teachers, myself, Miss Purcell, any other adults like Miss Tilly, Miss Collerby, and even Mr. Clark, just to say thank you. It really means a lot. So just wanted to briefly start with that. Okay. Let's go into our learning. So we're on lesson 8 now. Again, we've still got the same symbols, listening symbol, commenting symbol, and we have still got our lockdown leaderboard. So we are at the point where 5BP has 1-1, 5BP and 5CF have drew 1, and now we're looking to see who today's winners are going to be. Now I'm going to change it slightly because sometimes it's going to be the first 5, like the top fastest, and then sometimes it's going to be the top best answers. So the ones that have the most thought, the ones with the best vocabulary, the ones with that have met the objectives that we're teaching today. Okay, so listen out for which one I want, so you know how much time to spend on your answers. So today we are learning more about figurative language. Now we started to explore that last lesson on Tuesday, looking more so at metaphors and similes, which are also forms of figurative language. But today we're going to focus on personification. So what is figurative language? Let's understand that better. So when we use literal language, we use words for their most strictly true definitions. When we use figurative language, words may not be used for their strict definitions. Instead, we use a play on words, or we use words symbolically to create a particular effect or express a particular feeling that we want to, or give a description. So, for example, I've got here, let me get my little pointer. His heart is stone. Now, in literal language, your heart is an organ, a muscle. Okay, it is not made of stone. Good morning, Akmal. Good morning, Carl. It's not made of stone. So, in literal language, that sentence cannot be true. But in figurative language, that sentence is used to imply that this person's heart is hard, rock hard. Okay, it's impenetrable. Nothing can get through. Maybe there's no feeling there. Maybe it can't be broken anymore. It's hardened over time, and obviously, with knowing the character better, we'd understand why that may have happened. In the second sentence, she was as quiet as a mouse. Now, if I was to verse a mouse in a tiptoeing competition, I really don't think I'm going to win because a mouse can be extremely quiet, which is why it can live in our households without us knowing for God knows how long, which is quite a scary thought, but hey ho. But it again is used to give the idea that this girl here was trying to be so quiet that she was tiptoeing extremely silently as much as she could do. So we often use figurative language to add drama or humour to our writing, or again, to make our writing more descriptive, more clear, more powerful to the reader. So it has a really great effect. So we're going to start off by reading this extract with some wonderful language in it. And I want you to think, where is the figurative language? So listen really carefully, because in the next task, you're going to have to tell me where the figurative language is, okay? So Winnie spent hours each day that summer at the beach. She'd listen to the ocean and feel the wet sand under her toes as she stood at the shoreline. The sun warmed her skin and she watched children swimming, but she didn't want to go into the water herself. That was the August when Winnie's world began crumbling around her. She was 12 and soon she would turn 13. She had just moved to this quiet seaside town. She missed the crowds and the lights and even the noise of traffic in the big city, where she'd lived until that July. More than anything else, she missed her friends. To stay at the beach until the sky was a dark bruise above her head, and the last of the children had disappeared into their homes. So, your task is you've got four sentences there: A, B, C, or D. Which one of those contains figurative language? So it's gone beyond the literal meaning and it's trying to create that impossible sense, something that can't actually really happen, but it's being used to have that symbolic effect or that descriptive effect or that a powerful effect on the reader to almost add that sense of drama to the sentence. Let's see who gets in. This one is going to be the top 5 fastest for lockdown leader points. Let's have a look. Well done, Summer. Straight in there. Yeah, you don't write the sentence out, just put A, B, C, or D. Well done, AVE. Coming in next. Well done, Jay. Good morning, Rihanna. Well done, Maisie. Last point going. Well done, Chloe D. Super. Right, we're going to go through it. Well done, John Paul. I'm so impressed with you, John Paul. You really gave a striking answer last lesson. It's just imprinted in my head. Well, if you just listen in, you'll catch up, okay? Right. So we had 4 sentences here, and absolutely right. No one came with the wrong answer. All of you said C was the figurative language. That was the August when Winnie's world came crumbling around her. So the first sentence, Winnie spent hours each day at the beach. That's summer at the beach. That's literal. She probably did spend hours each day at the beach. She was 12 and soon would turn 13. Again, that is literal. It's telling you that she's changing her age. That's fine. That happens as we grow up. She'd listen to the ocean and feel the wet sand under her toes as she stood at the shoreline. That's a beautiful sentence, but again, it's literal. They're all things that we can do. But here, Winnie's world came crumbling around her. Can the world actually crumble? Answer, no. But it's been used for dramatic effect, that figurative language. It's been used to suggest that all is not okay in Winnie's life and that she feels like everything is falling to pieces within her world. So it's given that idea of the world crumbling around her and there's not much she can do to stop it. So she feels like she's losing control. So it's a lovely sentence to express her feelings. Now, that sentence has led to 5 CF for the first time ever taking the lead with 3 points there, and 5BP never far behind with their 2 points. So well done. Good morning, Alex. Again, Alex C, Alex A. Let us know. So here we go. The author is using figurative language to create an emotion. Winnie's world is not literally crumbling, but figuratively, that's showing how she feels. Winnie is clearly feeling sad. Now put sad in red, because if I had my zone of relevance, sad would be a red word. So your next task, just to recap on our synonyms, can you find me a green word, that green word for sad? So use that thesaurus. Again, don't just send me in a quick word. I'm going to pick the 5 best words. So take your time, think about a great word for sad that would go into the green. Good morning, Chloe B. So we're looking up a synonym for sad, a great one, a green zone one. Oh, nice. Lovely words coming through. Well done. Oh, look at Cole there with multiple words, Cole. Brilliant. Good morning, Callum W. Oh, love it. Oh gosh, where have we gone? Okay. Oh, lovely, Danielle. Oh, wonderful words, guys. Good morning, Isla. Good morning, Zach. Oh, Chloe D. Let's see. I'm looking for one more that I'm really happy with. Oh, lovely. Karis, well done. Right, really good recap there, guys, of synonyms. Right, let me show you. Gonna do another little trick that I've learned recently. I'm excited, but also very nervous. Oh, we don't want to go there, do we? Right, let's have a little look. Let's go to here and to here, and hopefully this will work. Fingers crossed. Okay. So hopefully, I don't know how well you can see it, but you will start to see my screen. I'm just going to move it over for you. But these are some wonderful words that I had. So well done, Cole, coming out with depressed. Amy, devastated. Danielle, downhearted. Chloe D, distraught. Caris, dejected. Those were the words that really stood out to me and struck me there. But I had some other wonderful ones. Let's see, because I did miss out on a few. So I had sorrowful from Maisie, miserable from Cole again, forlorn from Cole. That was gorgeous. Um, heartbroken, sorrowful, some lovely, lovely, lovely words. Sorry, let me put this slightly larger so that you can actually fully see that. So, based on those, let me update my chart to, let me have a look. Oh, so that is 5 BP, 5 BP, 5 CF, 5 CF, 5 CF. Right, lovely. Oh, there we go. So well done to those top 5 that on that occasion. Right, I'm going to present my screen again. And we're going to move on to the next part of our lesson. So well done, everybody. Okay. Oh, let's go back. So, as I've said, there are many different forms of figurative language. Hold up, actually, I think I need to change my screen back, don't I? See, I'm still learning, guys. That lady stuck on the video there for ages. Oh no, it has done it, in all fairness. How bizarre, but you just can't see the face. Right, okay. There we go. Right, as I said, there are many different forms of figurative language. Here are a few. So there are about 6, but we're covering 4 at the moment that we're kind of toying between. So first off is a metaphor, which you learnt last lesson, and that compares one thing to another by saying it is that thing. Okay. So for example, that night, a blanket of snow fell. The idea of the snow being a blanket, that's the comparison there. The snowfall being like a blanket to give the idea that the whole of the land was covered and quite cosy under that snow. The next one, on her birthday, he showered her with gifts. So the idea of showering and gift giving is being compared there. So a shower is loads of water coming down. So in this instance, there's loads of gifts being given, just like loads of water will come down in the shower. So obviously she's been well and truly treated on her birthday. A simile compares one thing to another using the words like or as, again we learnt last lesson. So he was as smart as Einstein. Compares the boy's intelligence to the intelligence of that as Einstein, saying obviously he's very intelligent. And then we've got she was as vigilant as a meerkat. So vigilant means to keep a watch out. And obviously, as you know, meerkats are always up like this and trying to look to see if their prey is after them. So it's shown that she's a good watch out, a good lookout. Also, we've got a hyperbole. Now, I love hyperboles. I think they're hilarious, and I think you guys use them all the time because you exaggerate all the time. So hyperbole is a form of exaggeration. So I have been waiting forever. Well, you haven't been waiting forever, have you? You've probably only been waiting about 5 minutes, but to you, it felt like forever. So you exaggerated using a hyperbole. Or for the 100th time, be quiet. I highly doubt anyone's going to say 100 times over, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. But you may have said it 10 times and it feels like you said it 100 times because you've said it so often. The hyperbole is a great form of exaggeration. But the one we're focusing on today is personification. And personification is another figure of speech. When the writer personifies, he gives something non-human a human trait or ability. So you'll see the word person in personification. She'll giving something non-human, like an object, an idea, a human trait or ability, which will make sense now, hopefully. So the leaves, well, leaves are non-human. Danced is a human trait and ability in the wind, okay? Leaves can't dance, but the idea is that the wind is making them move in such a way that it looks like they're dancing in the wind. A beautiful image to put in the reader's mind. The sun smiled in the sky. The sun being the non-human object, smiled being the human ability in the sky gives the idea that the sun is bright and happy and is shining down, spreading positivity to everyone, okay, from up above in the sky. Again, a lovely visual effect. So personification is when the writer gives human qualities or abilities to an object. When the writer treats a non-human object like it's alive, it can help us understand what they're trying to say better. So let's have a little look. So I've got vocabulary here. Let's listen to some personification. Oh, do you know what? I'm about to play this and I haven't done my microphone. Let's do that now.
They say there's a man in the moon and Mother Nature's probably sick with all the stuff that we're doing. Really? Okay, that's not literally true. Nature's not a lady and the moon is not a dude. So. But when you give human qualities to creatures, ideas, or objects, then you are using personification. Personification. Drop it in when you write, make it part of the equation. I could say the wind blows, that's fine, but that line isn't gonna blow anybody's mind. Let's personify the wind. I'll rewrite it as the wind whispers in the tall grass. I personify the wind. It's a figure of speech. That wind isn't literally whispering to me. I don't care if it's not literal. Admit it. That second line is way more vivid. Like when the farmer put his pick in the soil, he was amazed to see that the earth bled oil. I don't use it all the time. My writing would hate me. I use it from time to time. Now my lines want to date me. See what I did there? Yeah, that's pretty clever. I said my lines want to date me. Right, so I personify my lines. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Pretty dope. I'm not lying. When I personify, I get something not human, a human ability. Hold tiptoed into my heart. The open road called to me from the start. I'm not lying. When I personify, I get something not human, a human ability. The weather changed her mind again. The little car grown as we all piled in. Personification's a useful tool when authors want to set a certain mood, like the astronaut tried to steer, but regardless, his ship hurtled on, swallowed by the dark. Yo, that's a little freaky if I'm being honest. I can picture the dark closing in around the rocket. By using personification, the author fosters a mood of gloom and doom. Plus, she increases the sense of suspense, so stay sensitive to these sentences. A different passage, same technique. The snow kissed her eyelashes as she fell asleep. The writer personifies the snowfall to make the mood sweet and peaceful. So far, it puts an image in your mind like a video phone call. It's used by all the greats from Rolling to Roll Doll. I'm not lying. When I'm personifying, I get something not human, a human ability. Hold tiptoed into my heart. The open road called to me from the start. I'm not lying. When I'm personifying, I get something not human, a human ability. The weather changed her mind again. The little car grown as we all piled in. Take this example from Emily Dickinson. The sky is low, the clouds are mean. A traveling flake of snow across a bar or through a rut. The base of it will go. A narrow complains all day how someone treated him. Nature like us is sometimes caught without her diadem. And that's personification. And that's personification. And if you don't know what a diadem is, look it up on your lunch break. And that's personification. That's personification.
Okay, so loads of information there. I love these vocabulary videos, they're so good. Right, okay. Let's see if we can get to the next slide, hopefully. It's not moving. Right, so we're going to, you've just heard what personification is. I've explained it to you. When you give something non-human a human trait or ability. Good morning, Lexi, lovely. Okay, so we're going to identify the personification in this passage, okay? So again, this one will be a fastest finger first. So at the end of the debate, Samantha was a tornado of emotion. Now that is a lovely sentence. It's a metaphor, it's not personification. You could say that she is something. She is a tornado of emotion. Why hadn't she done more to prepare like Patricia suggested? She was mad at Patricia and mad at Mr. Atkinson, and more than anything else, she was mad at herself. In the cafeteria, strangers congratulated one another and talked loudly about their matches. The girl with the short red hair high-fived a tall boy wearing a suit jacket, and they smiled at each other. Samantha found a table that was empty and sat on her own. Her shame insulted her continuously with a sharp voice. It had been the worst rebuttal in the history of competitive debate. She was sure of that. So, which detail from the passage contains an example of personification? A, B, C, or D? Look, first 5. First person in with the correct answer. Second person, Sky, have another look, my lovely. Second person in with the correct answer. Have another look, Maisie. Have a look, Zach. Gosh, that one's catching you all out. Have another look at Caris. Well done, Chloe D. Well done, Amy E. Quite a few of you being tricked out here between personification, a human trait or ability, with a metaphor, a comparison. Well done, Zach. And that's our 5 done. Well done. Okay, right, we need to talk about this one because quite a few of you put an incorrect answer, which means that we need to keep going into this personification a little bit. And it is hard. It's okay if you find it challenging. But the answer was D. Now, a few of you thought the answer was B. Samantha was a tornado of emotion. That's saying that her emotions are a tornado. They're not saying like a tornado. So it's not a simile. It's saying she is a tornado of emotion, which is a metaphor. It's obviously using the past tense, essentially, or past verb there, was, but it's saying that she was that. Whereas D is saying her shame, a non-human thing, insulted her. To insult someone is a human ability, not a nice one, but it is a human ability. Her continuously with a sharp voice. Now, shame cannot insult, and shame does not have a sharp voice. So that's why that was the answer there, personification. Shame is an emotion that humans feel, but it is not human. In the passage, the author is giving shame a human trait and ability by saying it has a sharp voice and by saying it is insulting Samantha. Okay, so that's why that was the personification there. Hopefully that makes more sense. Well, hello, Amina. Lovely to see you, my lovely. So I hope you understand why this one was now a metaphor. It's comparing Samantha's emotions to a tornado. It's a comparison, but it's not a comparison using like or as. It's a comparison by saying it is. So therefore, it is a metaphor, whereas this here was the personification. So how to apply personification. Personification can obviously, like I've said, make your writing more powerful, more emotional, more vivid, creating that image in the reader's mind. You can personify anything that is not human. So you can personify an object like money, a mountain, a table, shoes, a door, curtains, whatever. You can personify an idea like greed or jealousy, anger, happiness, peace, any type of mood or idea. And you can personify even any living thing like a spider or a tree or a cat or a dog, whatever. You just have to make sure when you're personifying the living thing that it's not doing something that that living thing can do. So I wouldn't say, oh, the spider crawled and try claim that as personification because the spider can actually crawl. And yes, a human can crawl, babies crawl. But that's not personification because that's something both of them can actually do. What's on that? But a spider, well, a spider can dance in all fairness. Have you seen those really weird nature shows with that David Attenborough? The spider dances as well, to be fair. But maybe like sometimes when the spider's dancing, you might say, oh, it's flirting with another spider. And I don't think the spider necessarily is flirting. It's just trying to draw attention to itself, isn't it? So you might personify it that way. So I want to, again, have a look here. And this sentence has been revised, has been adapted, has been changed from a general simple sentence, or not a simple sentence, but from a general sentence without any personification to a sentence with personification. So let's have a read of it. The morning was humid and grey, but it did not rain. Okay, so that's just a lovely sentence to explain what the weather was like. Now, A, B, C, or D personifies that sentence by giving the weather human abilities, human traits. Which one does that? A, B, C, or D? First five this time again. I need to add the last one. It was 5CF3 and 5BP2 on the last one. Well done, Summer, bringing in another point for 5CF. Good girl. Summer, you're getting so fast now, aren't you? Zach, have a look. There's nothing in the one that you first said that shows a human trait. Think about it, Minna Play. I love your effort, though. Top marks for effort. Chloe D, well done. 2.5 CF. Well done, Lexi. 3.5 BP. Well done, Sky. 4.5 CF. Oh, no. Sorry, Sky. Oh, no, you're right. Amy E, have a look, my lovely. Jay, have another look. Well done, John Paul. 5.5 BP. Lovely. Also with the correct answer, well done, Caris. Not too sure what that comment is, Declan. Please stick to being on task. I've got here Alex Lee Forest. Well, we know you're in Lee Forest, my lovely, but is it Alex C or Alex A? Right, we're going to talk through it. Quite a few of you have actually put that it could be D, but it's not, I'm afraid. So if you put D, wah, wah, wah. I think it's gone a little bit wrong, but it's okay. If you put A, however, you were right, because the answer is A. Now, the reason why it's A is because it's describing the weather as stubborn. It said the stubborn sky held tightly to her dark clouds and the morning passed without rain. Now, the sky is described as stubborn and it's referred to the sky as a her. So it's changed it from being a thing to a girl, essentially, or a woman that's apparently stubborn. And the sky is holding tightly onto the clouds. And that tightness that it's gripping the clouds with is meaning that the rain doesn't fall. So these human traits and abilities personify the sky to give it more imagery of that humid day in our mind. Now, D was not personification because it says the weather was so unbearable. Unbearable is describing that we couldn't cope with the weather, probably because humid means it can be quite hot. All we could do that morning was pray for rain, and humans can pray. So this is talking about the weather being unbearable, which is just a description of the weather, and that the humans were praying for rain, not that the weather was praying for rain. But if you believed, or if you took it in the context the weather was praying for rain, I get why you would have presume that to be personification. So I can see where the confusion came in. But here it says the stubborn sky. Can a sky be stubborn other than maybe the 1 in 5 CF? I don't know. But the sky definitely can't hold on to the dark clouds, can it? So that's why that was definitely personification. Sky, it must be weird hearing your name so often like that. Right. So the purpose, why do we even use personification? Hopefully you know this by now because we've kind of been delving into it a little bit. But when you find an example of personification, you should really stop and consider some aspects of the text. So what does this figurative language mean in context? What does the author trying to reveal by giving that particular non-human object that human ability? What are they wanting to convey to us at that time? And what can you infer about the text or the characters from the choice of words and the details that have been given? So if we look here in the sentence below, what is the purpose? What is the reason for using the phrase, the stars are winking at him? So Alvaro walked in a buzz of excitement with the stars winking at him the whole way home. Why has the author personified the stars? What is it trying to suggest about Alvaro's feelings here? Okay, so A, B, C, or D. What is the impact, the purpose of personifying the stars by saying they're winking at him? Is it that they actually mean his eyes are winking? Is it that he's feeling lucky or special? Is it the phrase shows that he's seeing things and he's hallucinating? Or is it that it shows that he's very afraid of the dark? Read through A, B, C, or D, and first 5. Good, Zach, straight in there. First point for 5. CF. Well done, Jay. Second point. Well done, Summer. Third point. Callum W, have another look, my lovely. Well done, Amy E. Fourth point. Well done, Maisie. Fifth point. Isla just getting picked there. You were in with a 6th. Well done. Chloe D, well done. Stack, you're there like a keyboard warrior. Give the answer 3 times over. Love it. Okay, right, let's have a little look. So, the answer, gosh, I didn't even highlight it there. Sorry about that, guys. But the answer is indeed B. So this phrase shows that Alvaro felt lucky and special. The personification in this sentence uses figurative language to show Alvaro's feelings. The stars aren't actually in literal language winking at Alvaro because stars can't wink, can they? But he feels as if they are because he's walking with a buzz of excitement, and the author's personified objects around him to enhance that buzz and to enhance that excitement by making non-human objects do something similar. So, personification not only just adds description, not only adds more imagery for the reader, it also can change or add to the mood of the text. So personification can contribute to many elements of the story, including its theme or mood. Mood is a story's overall feeling or atmosphere. Mood links to the emotions that reader may feel. So when you're reading a story, you might feel happy. You might feel sad at a certain part. I remember when we read Welcome to Nowhere, we felt really sad for the refugees in that story. You might feel a sense of romantic. You might feel scared if you're reading a horror story. So there's different feelings that a book can bring out in us. So let's have a read of this and think, what feeling is this trying to bring out of us? What mood, and how is the personification helping that mood? So Edwin's grandma didn't get angry when she saw the horrible mess in the kitchen. In fact, she decided to take part in the fun. What a cool grandma. She put the peas on her spoon, bent the spoon back and flung them towards Edwin before he even saw that she was there. They landed with a splat on his glasses, and he looked up, surprised. Gran! He said, what on earth? In a matter of minutes, the rest of the vegetables were dancing all around them like performance artists. The carrots somersaulted like gymnasts. The string beans moved in the wide arcs of leaping ballerinas. What beautiful personification has been used there for the vegetables. But what mood was that personification trying to create? So obviously, carrots can't somersault like gymnastics, and string beans can't dance like ballerinas. Okay? And vegetables certainly don't dance. But all of that's been used to show the chaos in that kitchen at that time. That chaotic fun that Grandma and Edwin were having. I can't imagine the cleanup at the end, however. So, but what mood was it trying to create? So is it A, B, C, or D? Have a good read through. Fastest fast. Let's add the last point. Good morning, Fatima. Oh, wonderful, Jay. Fastest finger. Well done, lovely. First point. Summer, second point. Well done. Lexi, third point. Well done. Amy E, fourth point. Well done. Chloe D, fifth point. Superstar. Isla again just picked sixth there. Zach seventh. Jumple eighth. Maisie ninth. Sky 10th. Oh, there's loads. Caris, Danielle. Really, really well done. And good morning, Wassim. Lovely to see you. Super. Right, some wonderful answers, most of which are correct. So you've really understood that. Well done. The answer was indeed A. It was to create that humorous, that funny, playful mood in the text there. So details like the vegetables dancing really help the reader understand the personification and creates this funny, playful mood of what's happening in that kitchen between Edwin and his grandmother, which is fabulous. Right, that's really great. That actually brings our score to, let's just do a score update. So further 3 points to 5 CF there, further 2 points to 5 BP there, bring the score to 12 points B, 18 points. Still enough time to turn it around. Let's see if 5CF can keep their lead or if 5BP are going to steal it last minute. Right, now we're going to go over to you because all of that in our typical model that we use at school would have been me representing to you, talking you through, you having a little go. Now we're going to go over to you into our fluency aspect of our 5-part model, what we call doing. So here are some objects, and they need to be correctly matched to the human quality. Okay, now I'm only asking for you to pick one, but I'm hoping that you're going to pick a different one, hopefully. So don't all just go for the top one, go for different ones and see if we can get all the answers to these. And again, think carefully. So don't rush it and give me 2 parts that don't match. Think carefully. They all match to one other part. So they can't be transitioned, they can't be changed. They all have a specific answer. So can you find the right one and type me that sentence? I will not accept sentences without capital S's and full stops, guys. Make sure you type it correctly. It's not about fastest finger this time. This time it's about quality. Gosh, some of you are quick. Right, Chloe D. Oh my God, Chloe D, this is the first time I'm giving you the shout out for the first. Yay, well done, Chloe D. You got in there first. Paris, second. Both different sentences, so well done. Amy E, think about it. Something else is calling the name. So have a little think. Well done, Danielle. Well done, Zach. Right, some super, super, super phenomenal answers there. Really, really good. So, really pleased with that. Right, let's have a little look. So, here we go. So, the candle flame danced in the dark. Well done to so many of you that matched those correctly. The chocolate cake in the fridge was calling her name. And I think it was my name it was calling. I cannot resist chocolate. You know me too well by now. So I really relate with that personification. The party died as soon as he left. So the idea that there's always someone that's like the party starter, the goer, the woo. I mean, when we have a little school discos, I like to think that that's me with my Macarena. And then it dies as soon as the person leaves. Sad times. The wallflowers nodded in the wind. Along with the teacher, silence crept into the classroom. Now, 5CF, how much does that happen? I know it probably happens with 5BP as well. The minute Miss Purcell or I leave, a decibel of noise crops into the room, but the minute we re-enter, that silence just spreads across. We can always hear you from the corridors being like, shh, this is coming, shh. I think we don't know, we know. And the wind sang a lovely song. So really, really well done to so many of you that really smashed that. I mean, Lexi, you went right to town there. Really, 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 really well done. Okay, so another task over to you. So you've just had a scaffolded way of practicing forming sentences using personification. I'm going to ask you to do it again. So in this task, you're going to again personify the objects using some of the verbs that you can see here. So sang, hugged, yelled. screeched, watched, swallowed, smiled. So correctly match those verbs to the image it best suits and then create a personification sentence. For example, the summer sun hugged the meadow. I'm trying to personify there the sun by saying it's a non-human object that is doing a human ability of hugging the meadow to give the idea that the sun rays were all over that meadow. And a hug, if you get a nice hug from someone, it's quite a warming feeling. So that warm sun is hugging that meadow. Can you come up with your own sentences? And again, it's the best sentences. So you might want to use a thesaurus. You might want to add a bit more detail. That's absolutely fine. It's going to be the 5 best sentences that I choose for the lockdown leader points, which I still need to add to from the last round. Right. Well done, Chloe D. Hello, Jude. Lovely to see you commenting, sweetie. Well done. Oh, lovely sentence, Summer. We'll give you a couple more minutes to come in with some sentences. Lovely. I'm loving these sentences, guys. I'm writing down some of the ones that I really like. Paul, you asked me to do a revisit of commas, but you've used a comma perfectly. Right, I'm gonna show you what I like. Okay, some really nice sentences there. Bear with. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's go to, I don't know where I'm going. Let's go back to here and change the screen so you can see some lovely sentences that had come through. Hopefully that should come up soon enough. Just try to get it in the center screen there. Maybe like this. Still practicing this one. Not as easy as it may look, guys. I promise you that. But, right, I had a lovely one from Chloe D there. So the washing machine swallowed my sock. So again, the washing machine is the object there. Swallowing is the, hold on, let me move this over. Oh no, I didn't move it over. Silly me. Yeah. Swallowing is the human ability. So well done, Chloe D. The yellow sun smiled brightly down on the big blue ocean. Love that because we've got description there for the sun. The non-human object being personified using the human ability of smiling brightly down on the big blue ocean. A bit of alliteration there, which is lovely. And because there's alliteration, it's quite nice that you use just a nice simple word, big. Whereas typically we might put that in the red zone, but in that sentence it was a green word because it worked well within that sentence. And then lovely from John Paul. The ocean played lovely because I can just imagine the waves crashing and the ripples in the ocean there. Played in the sunshine like a small child, and using that word like actually changed it from not only a bit of personification to a simile as well. So double points there. Lovely, John Paul. Well done. So really, really nice sentences. You guys, as we've gone on, have done much, much, much better with these tasks. I really feel like you're starting to get personification now. So well done to you. Right, let's have a little look. I'll keep doing that. Keep getting up my class dojo. Don't want to see that. Right. I need to change the video, don't I? This is the part of this class that where it all goes a bit wrong for me. I remember to change the microphone back, but I don't remember to change the video back. Oh gosh, I'm doing all sorts now. Don't catch them. Right, here we go. I'm gonna do it this time, guys. Sure of it. And we should be back. Hello, me again. Right, okay. At least that means I didn't change my JoJo by accident, so that's good. Okay, so I've got a little challenge for you, which I knew we'd never get to, but I've put it there as an extension because I do feel that the more we're removed from the classroom, the less and less that we are writing, and writing is such an important skill, particularly when you come back to year 6, because you will be moderated on your writing, and you will get a SAT judgment on your writing, and you want to make sure that you can do that effectively. So on Google Classroom, I'm going to upload, as will Miss Purcell, these slides for you. So you can go back and you can watch the videos and things like that if you like the songs. But also you can go back and revisit anything that you might not have understood. And then the challenge is to read the passage below and pick some objects and personify them. Okay, and then send that in to us. So you're going to essentially rewrite this, but better with personification. Now be careful, don't select loads, don't choose loads of objects to personify because it can lose its effect if you use it too often. But select some. So you might want to personify the fire. You might want to personify, let's see, the forest. You might want to personify the trees. You might want to personify the hunters, or the, well, not the hunters because they'll be people, but the horses. You might want to personify the dogs. It's totally up to you what you choose to personify, but have a good go. And again, you might want to personify at the end there, the sea. So there are quite a few opportunities for personification, but choose wisely and make sure that it sticks to the mood. So if it's supposed to be scary, use scary personification examples. If it's supposed to be humorous, use funny ones. If it's supposed to be romantic, use romantic ones. But make sure you try and think about what is the mood, what personification can add to it, and where am I going to put it strategically. Now, the points stand as 13 points to 5 BP this lesson and 22 points to 5 CF. So 5 CF have absolutely smashed it this lesson. However, the best challenge that's submitted to me and Miss Purcell will earn 10 lockdown points for their class. And the best one will be presented in our next lesson. We'll read it out, we'll give you a massive shout out, and then we'll do the final points. So will that mean that 5 BP steal it and end up on 23 points, or will that mean that 5 CF extend their lead and end up on 32 points? Let's see. Down to you guys. To submit this to us, just write it in your books, get your parents to take a picture and put it onto the portfolio. We'll read through it and me and Miss Purcell will choose the best ones. And if we can't, we'll let Mr. Clark do the decision making. Okay? Right. The last thing to go through is here. Please, I only had John Paul let me know that he wanted to look back at commas. Our next lesson is going to be on pupil voice. What do you want me to teach you? Do you want to learn back about synonyms, antonyms, commas, expanded noun phrases, modal verbs, inverted commas, or more figurative language? Or there might be something else that you know you're struggling with. Relative clauses, adverbials, cohesion, anything. Can you comment now? What do you need help with? We will do that for you in our next lesson. What do you want to learn in your next lesson? Going to give you a minute to have a quick look at that. Comment as quickly as you can. Or if you feel confident on it all, just message letting me know that you feel confident. Great, Lexi, thank you for your contribution. I will look at that for you. Right. And again, to find the list, just go onto the Year 5 virtual page that has the list there, okay? Now, have a quick break. Be ready at 11:15 for math with Miss Purcell. Remember to complete that English challenge, which is this extract here, which will now be going onto your Google Classroom, but do not obviously start it until after your math lesson. And then you've still got your doodle tasks to do. Thank you, Karis. I will do that for you as well, my lovely. Put commas back in. Absolutely fine, Amy E. Yep, synonyms can redo. I love synonyms. Yes, Summer, we'll do modal verbs. Fabulous, thank you. Keep letting me know what you'd like. And thank you for such a wonderful lesson. It felt good doing a flow again. And I will see you guys next Tuesday when I do your pupil voice. So it's going to be a bit of a mix and match of different learning, but we'll have fun with it the same way. All right? See you on Tuesday. Bye.